So, like, I really did, I needed to talk about some stuff today because I have been going ham on, Twitter. If you know, you know, about yet another person at Kotaku, another reporter at Kotaku, being bullied off of the fucking internet, um, by really, like, violent trolls. And I really mean that. I don't use that word lightly. Like, I think, honestly, a lot of times that word is, like, used by babies that are trying to, like, make themselves, like, victims or what. And I know that's really loaded, but, like, I truly do actually, like, you can go and look at their interactions and see that this has been months of targeted, hateful content at the Kotaku creators. It doesn't end with Alyssa Mercante. I don't know why the R disappears when I say her name, but honestly, I hope respectfully not to be saying her name that much more, just because I feel like she needs a break. If you just, like, search her name on Twitter, you can see the vile sentiments that wish her death, like, in droves. And, you know, a lot of those people will say, oh, death threats, I haven't seen any. Like, we're all stupid and not supposed to understand that, like, this violent language means what it means. I refuse to play dumb. I'm not going to pretend that something isn't a veiled threat or isn't, like, you know, like I was saying earlier, victimhood is used by these people to justify their disproportionate and violent reactions to Alyssa Mercante. And the Kotaku staff at large, because, like I've said, this is not the first writer there that has been targeted. And it's not just a Kotaku problem. I unfortunately think that there is a brand of games journalism that people associate with Kotaku. Of course, I don't need to explain this to you guys. You get it. That they've targeted throughout the years. It's bullshit. It makes it really difficult to have nuanced conversations about games without being lumped in with... But let's just make something very clear. This is a pushback against extremism and extremism only. Like, it is insane the amount of content that has been made as veiled threats to these writers. And these fucking babies that make this content and profit off of these basically all women, I wonder how that happened, they will deny that these are veiled threats. They'll say, oh, you're a public figure, you should expect this. Ugh, like, I'm not gonna play dumb. If you're making content relentlessly about someone, if you're making content relentlessly about someone, to the point, like, I'm gonna show you some things. And if you'd like to have a conversation with me in good faith, you know, about these things, I just ask that you pay attention to what I'm about to show you and really ask yourself, if this seems like the mark of a healthy individual. What I'm about to show you are some screenshots around this specific situation, but I think, honestly, even without showing you these screenshots, we've been through this before. You can fill in the blanks, and the fact that I can say that, and I know more than half of you, even the perpetrators, know what I mean. Like, that means it's been going on too long. It's over and over. Last month it was like Ash and that vile Grums / Kern. I don't know what he goes by. I hate him. No respect there. Just as, oh my god. But today we're talking about SmashJT. So let me pull up the screenshots. For the most part, we'll have to get into some of the nuances of what all that means, right? But okay. This is SmashJT. He is the worst. But he's the reason why we're here today. You can already see Alyssa Mercante is DM my wife. Alright, okay, buddy. We'll get into that. He write articles and make YouTube. I'm not making fun of someone's typo. It's just like, you know, anything I get, right, about video games and stuff. Yeah, we'll get into stuff. Because I would love it if he would actually ever talk about video games. Most of his content revolves around Alyssa these days. Maybe it's not always like that. Maybe a lot of his other content isn't kind of the trash fire I saw when I was like scrolling through the last few months that weren't about Alyssa. They still seem to be like targeting individuals and really hyperbolic, but at least they were a little differentiated. It's only recently that he discovered Alyssa Mercante was actually his obsessive muse of rage or something. This is his TikTok. No. This is Twitter. Okay. This is, sorry, that was a little fast. I thought I scrolled a little slower. This is about Alyssa. This is about the whole Kotaku staff. And Alyssa. Kotaku offices are an insane asylum. That links to his gaming news sites where where he writes articles. Yeah, he writes articles. We'll get into that. Look. People screenshotting Alyssa. Oh, here's one. Here's a gaming tweet. Alright? Hi Firestime chat. What's up? Okay, sorry, I'm also live on Twitch. Sorry, guys. Sorry for everybody on TikTok. So here's a gaming tweet by SmashJT. We're talking about that scum of the earth, SmashJT, who has been targeting Kotaku staff. So, let's go. I know it says Bikini Base in the title, and I'm really sorry for misleading you guys. Okay, sorry for everyone on Twitch. I was talking to the TikTok crowd. Hi, okay, great. I hope you enjoy. It is going to be rage-filled, though, I will say. So, let's see what other content we all know what they're trying to do here with making her face look like that. I'm not fucking playing dumb. This is more vile than, like, she's a crackhead and craves rock. I'm sorry. This man, in the very next tweet, he's complaining about being blocked by her. Why would you know that unless you're going to her profile, and, like, looking to see if she like, that's obsessive behavior. Also, why the fuck would she not block you? Look at the content you're posting. Definitely prefer Twitch. Hi, Snow. But I think it looks better on TikTok, unfortunately. Sorry. What is it? What do you prefer, Nick? Nick hates Snow. You're a regular. I feel like, honestly, I should defer to you. And can you hear okay? And also, hello, everybody. Are you online on any other platform besides streaming right now? TikTok. Is that what you mean? Okay, anyway. Yeah. For those running the betting pool on when she would reblock me again. Like, I can't get into that one. Because the only person thinking about this as obsessively as him, or his comments. Granted, he does have, like, a good degree of commenters that are, like, ridering or dying for him. This is the first screenshot. maybe I'm desensitized because I've been looking at this for a couple hours now. Can someone tell me if it's weird? Do you guys think this is weird to post that obsessive? Okay, this is just today, right? Like, this is just today. Okay, good. Your is good, but I'm roboting? Wait, what does that mean? Oh no. Ooh. Oh no! Okay, I think we're good. Are we good? Okay. Anyway. I'm really sorry you have to read my tweets for, they're unhinged. And mostly nonsensical, maybe? I don't know. I thought I was making a few good points, but I was really upset that someone was like, ew, I'm gonna block you. Sorry, someone was like, how old are you? You're 16. I'm like, ew. Sorry I had to see that. Okay. Yeah. Hi. Okay. I keep saying that. Back to the juice. Oh, here's another video game related tweet. I think we're at 2 out of like 15. Oh, I'm sure you blocked ours. The movement is growing. Can we hit 2,500 signatures today for the shutdown of Kotaku? Just don't fucking read it. Have you tried that? I really don't get it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Fuck that guy. I'm doing a gaming stream actually on, well, not really gaming. I'm talking about gaming. But I do actually game. On Twitch, primarily. Anyway, okay, we have to get back into it because, oh boy. Oh, okay, yeah, see another, I think we're like 4, maybe. Maybe that was me being not as charitable. Then here you go, you have the classic, like, blue hair, Kotaku stereotype thing that they're obviously going for. I know it doesn't say Kotaku anywhere on the tweet, but every other, I'm not going to ignore the context. Literally the next tweet, come on. You guys say this shit all the time. Like, this is obviously transphobic. I'm not going to play dumb. Nobody mentioned trans people eat a bag of dicks. Like, I don't care to capitulate anymore to people that don't want to have a conversation in good faith and act like adults. Like, we both know what you mean by this. Stand on 10 toes and admit that that's a fucking transphobic meme, right? That you want to end Kotaku probably for reasons that would be really unpopular for you to say, even amongst your community. Let's be honest about that. Let's be honest about the people that work at Kotaku and the problems you might have with the people that work at Kotaku. Well, why are you blocking me? Ah! No boundaries! You can't make a new account. Okay. I appreciate that. I think it's important to have these discussions because I'm tired of... I'm tired of these people weaponizing hordes of discontented masses that have nowhere else to put this rage, righteous or not, anywhere else. Like, I'm tired of them weaponizing that against creators that if they just didn't want to interact with, they literally could just not interact with them. Oh, they're a public figure, blah. This is insane. Making a campaign to take down a website because you have personal problems with... That's insane. That's not a righteous position that deserves, like, logical scrutiny. That's not connected to reality. I'm tired of pretending that when we're speaking to these people
that are either unhinged, insane, or clearly acting in bad faith, because who the fuck would think that? Like, I'm tired of acting like we owe them anything. I don't owe them shit if they're not going to own up to what they really mean. Like, when does it end? Okay, and then there's another whole facet to this. So, this creator is obsessed with Kotaku staff and Alyssa Mercante. Full stop. No debating that. We can visit another really helpful screenshot that will demonstrate this to you. These are... What are we looking at here, folks? Like, 4 in the last day. Yes, a games journalist is subject to criticism. What about this reads as someone that's interested in legitimate criticism? What about the memes that you just saw on his Twitter about this situation? What about that suggests to you that this is someone, like, legitimately interested in having a productive conversation? I just like to say, for the record, that there are, like, a bunch of Vera fans, I'm assuming, spamming my chat with really sexist, awful things, which I did expect from this community. And I think it's a great demonstration of, like, how they weaponize this perceived victimhood to justify their toxic behaviors. Now that I blocked him, does it still come up for you? It doesn't come up for you anymore, right, Nick? Okay. Because I would be upset if you still had to see it. Sorry about that. Yeah, I knew, like, that was going to be a thing, and I started streaming deliberately after that conversation because I knew that that would be a factor. Yeah. That's entrapment. Okay, let's go on. What is this? Like, come on, dude. You know? What are we looking at here? Like, that was a tweet that was actually in the recording I showed you, because I did it out of order. Can you imagine starting a campaign because someone won't fuck you? Anyway, it goes, like, it goes back to... Okay, yeah, I mean, either way, it's like, it's up to you. I'm gonna stay live on Twitch, but it does show? Wait. I can't believe Kat Dennings will cuddle with me and watch Whisper of the Heart. I should make a petition. I don't understand, like, why TikTok, or not TikTok, rather, Twitch would make it so... I think I remember reading about this recently, right? Like, why is it that they're still, like, showing up in my stream even though I'm the streamer? Oh, you have to ban them. That's why. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Blocking is, like, for you only. Is that what it is? Did it go? I'm really sorry about that. Hi! I'm really sorry I'm not in a bikini, as the title suggests I would be. Not on Twitch, on TikTok, but still. Anyway. So, here's what set off the shitstorm today. And, okay, maybe I should actually give more context, because I feel like even this might draw the lone few who are like, you know, after months of harassment, you still shouldn't privately DM someone's wife. Like, you know. I'm so sorry, I have to go to, the keyboard. Oh, yeah, let's look at his website, maybe, for a little more context on his vile treatment of the staff at Kotaku. So, this is his... this is... I have a lot I want to say about this website. Good. I do have a lot I want to say about this website. A lot of them are pretty mean and not conducive to the discussion. So, I'm going to try to just say that, like, I think it's an interesting choice to go back to 2005 for your website layout. But, you know, aesthetics aren't everyone's bag, even though you're the... I actually don't... He's not, like, a game journalist, because remember, he just, like, writes about stuff, and he clearly doesn't hold himself to that standard, you know? I mean, he says he writes articles. I cannot wait to show you guys those. And makes YouTube videos talking about video games, and stuff. You know, I think comparing follower counts is really gauche, but... Is it relevant that I have a lot more? I don't know. Does that make me a bully? Oh no, am I a big bad bully for coming after, SmashJT? But he's a public figure, right? So this is fair game, right? Are the rules different now? Or is it because... I don't get it. Can someone explain why that would be different than what he is doing to Alyssa relentlessly? I don't know. The rules are different for him. I don't think the rules are different for him. I think it's fair game. I think even though he has a measly 4,000 followers, bumping that up for him, you know, he obviously has a big impact on the culture, because here I am, someone with a lot more than that, talking about him. So he should be thanking me. If you can't see that that was a joke, you're probably following him. And in that case, can you please DM me some examples of him talking about video games? Because, as we're going to see on his website, he seems to have trouble sticking to the topic. Okay, I have to say, doesn't this look like a website in a video game? Like, this looks like if you were, like, playing Alan Wake and Alan, like, needed to use a computer. You should make a show called Critic. That Critic Critique. Oh, that's good! Oh, if I use that, I will credit you. And then we'll fight over royalties forever. How do you even get a webpage that lazy looking. I didn't say it. I'm just reading what he said, but he is so fucking right. I feel like you have to go out of your way not to care about this. Oh, some little web developer out there is getting their feelings hurt. I'm gonna get canceled. Oh no. I'm such a bully. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, yeah, I'm such a bully. Rejoicing in someone's firing. Is that about video? I guess that's kind of about video games. It does have a video game in the title. Technically speaking, right? That does count. I studied advertising before dropping out from being sick. Like that, sick. Okay. Back to business. Jake Steinberg simps for defending former and that's another thing. We'll get into that. He is obsessed with the fact that Alyssa used to do sex work. I am remembering conversations from like months ago on her Twitter, or like allusions to someone trying to make a big deal about this, and she was like joking about it. I wonder if it was him or if he was just like bandwagoning. Anyway, yeah, this comes up multiple times. This more than anything signals to me that this is a deep-rooted sickness in this man. Because that's not relevant. How can anyone defending him, Vera, how can anyone defending him say that that's relevant? And I know everyone's going to go back to, it's not about defending his actions, it's about her threatening his family, getting his family involved, even though that's not what happened, but that's how people will be framing that. We'll come back to that because that's basically what brings us back to today. But it is important that you know the rigor of journalism that we're dealing with from this man. He writes articles. God damn it. The Sony situation is really bad, though. I know. He's not but he is correct on that. I guess, like, does that mean we have common ground? Because I'd like to burn any ground I share with this man. Okay. Where did I find it? Here it is. The recent actions of Alyssa Mercante, a former sex worker turned senior editor at Kotaku, raised serious concerns about the ethical standards at play within the organization. Now, unless you were trying to draw a parallel between something being unethical and that thing, why would you mention them in this sentence? I'm not, again, for the thousandth time, so if I could say thousandth time, I'm not going to play dumb. We know what he meant when he said a former sex worker raises serious concerns about the ethical standards at play. If you just take this out, we all can see it. We all know from the fucking memes that he posted, we all know from what he writes on his fucking website what he really means when he says that he wants to shut down Kotaku. Like, we know what he means. I'm not going to play dumb about it. I'm not going to pretend that doesn't impact the safety, not only of the people working there, not only of Alyssa just like as an individual, full stop herself, but everyone that looks like them in this gaming community where we outnumber jerks like this by the hundreds of thousands, but are too scared to speak up because of vitriolic shit like this. Like, I don't even remember where I started that sentence. I'm getting so heated. I should chug more rain. Genuinely curious, does he also complain about censorship in games while also judging sex work? Why are you more comfortable with bodies getting blown up? Okay, but then sex work. You know what okay, anyway. I know what he fucking means. He means that I don't have a voice in this conversation. Just like when I was interacting with Vera's little trolls on Twitter, the ones that she did not put in their place, where they literally, like, escalated shit the moment they clicked on my profile and saw that I was a sex worker. These people are hungry for that shit. They hunger for the excuse to escalate this to violent rhetoric. Oh, violent rhetoric, stop being so dramatic. No, you guys are the ones being dramatic. You're going 1,000. You're hitting the gas at 1,000 because Alyssa, after relentless torment, not just by SmashJT, but by him, but by all of you fucking creeps, and I really do mean that, creeps. That's not hyperbolic. Like, after relentless torment, she sends a private DM that Smash leaked. About from his own wife. Alyssa didn't do that. She just said, I sent a DM to your wife because I'm tired of this, and I think it's inappropriate that you're harassing me and my staff. That's basically what she said. Oh, we're all gonna get hung up on the words that she mentioned the staff, blah, blah. That's not stalking. That's not doxing. What's doxing is what SmashJT did next. What's inappropriate, what's illegal, and what should be illegal, what should be considered harassment, is all of his fans, people that just glob on when there's something negative to rant and rave about, all of these little Gamergate grubbies will glob onto this and hound her, like they've done to Ash, like they've done to Carolyn, like they're doing to that other poor man, Paul Scott Canavan. These are the tweets that set it all off. I'm going to get my rain, I'm going to wet my mouth, and I'm going to make more sense probably going forward, but no promises. Thank you. I know, I don't have a bikini on. I did intend to do bass practice. And I will. I don't know if on stream. Hi. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's do it. Okay. Alright. Bassmaster, I'm sorry. I will probably change into the bikini though. Yeah, and you know what? Not only is Gamergate the worst thing one of the worst things to have happened to the game industry, right? But trying to make it happen again is so unoriginal. And I really, have to ask myself, what are these people contributing? When you look at this content, are you enriched by this? Does this help you give your life a bigger, more meaningful context or something? Does this make your understanding of any of the art of games more complex? Because this just makes me sad to be associated with someone with such a lack of critical thinking skills and also design savvy. I cannot get over how relentlessly awful his content is, and I do mean that disrespectfully. I do mean that disrespectfully. He has this terrible blur feature that I think it's one of the most benign things to talk shit about, because I could say a lot. I could say a lot about this obviously transphobic worm, and his inability to stop obsessing over a singular woman, I could say a lot about that. I could say a lot about maybe how somebody that literally is posting this much might have a mental health break, if not already coming down the pipeline, that their spouse should be notified about. Anyway. Whatever. Ugh, sorry. I should have had this up. I'm not a professional. I don't know what to tell you. Alright. For the betterment of video game journalism. Anyway, let's go to his YouTube channel. I need to show you guys this blur.
Make this video. The situation is so freaking...
Why did this bother me so much on first watch? I really had it all geared up in my head to talk shit about his blur. Maybe I'm an idiot. I know, my mic is, embarrassing. I also, should an angry tweet about stuff. Why are you adding Nick so much? Keeps it. What's going on? I thought you meant Mike. Anyway, okay. Sorry, I'm live on Twitch right now for those on TikTok. Yeah, so, this gonzo, he goes on, I don't really care to watch this rant about, It's kind of curious that he makes so much content about it. But it's not even it's starting to get up there. I guess most of this is pretty old. Anyway, let's get back into the whole wife situation, right? Because that's what set it off. Yeah, it's like a rant about nothing, right? Exactly. So it really, well, yeah, and then it set him off again. But it really set him off that that his wife was messaged. She was DM'd privately. Alyssa did make it known publicly that she did it, but she didn't release the tweets. It was my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, regardless, that it was SmashJT who released those DMs to his wife. If you are so upset about that violation, if you are so upset for your family's safety, logically, and I'm not policing victims because he's not a victim, let's be real about that. She was responding to something. He wouldn't be checking her profile every hour. He would be blocking her. He would be blocking her coworkers. He would be making different content. This is not the behavior, and everyone's going to be like, oh, victim blaming, oh, when it's a woman, it's different. It's like, yeah, when it is a woman, when it's a romantic relationship, it does have different parameters because power structures between men and women are different. So I am going to be approaching this situation with the knowledge of what it's like to be a fucking woman online. And I have a quarter of the visibility that Alyssa has. So yeah, it's fucking different. The power dynamics are different. Oh, he only has 3,000, so he only has 20. Shut the fuck up. You've made so many videos about her. How could she not respond? How could any of these people be expected to just lie down and take it over and over and over again? Because if you take it out of context, anybody could say that this is a disproportionate reaction. I refuse to take this out of the context of not just the months-long harassment that has been ramping up on Twitter, but the years-long of harassment that has been against Kotaku, like, writers, contributors, and anyone else on the internet who calls out bullshit in video games, or even just critiques them honestly without even referencing gender. Sorry, I'm like, whoop. There is a reason Darvo exists as a concept, right? We are looking, you can't compare her reaction to this type of behavior from not just him, but all of the people around him, people much more visible than him even. You cannot remove that context. I won't do it. I'm never going to not ask, well, what was it a reaction to? Because we all know what this was a reaction to. We all know that if it was your fucking boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, that was making obsessive weirdo content about someone, that was contributing to the harassment of someone, you would want to know. And if you wouldn't want to know, you're a bad person. Like, that's just silly. You wouldn't admit that. If you would admit that, maybe your opinion doesn't matter, because that's an insane thing to say. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? Let's be adults and act in good faith and ask ourselves these questions abstractly without putting our emotions into it, without putting our victimhood mentality into it. Okay? What would you rather be done? Would you prefer to not know? Would you prefer to take the chance of not knowing? I would prefer a private DM if someone in my life that I loved was acting unhinged like this man is. This is not critique that he's putting out. It's not good-natured. This isn't professional. It's unhinged. It's inappropriate. We shouldn't allow it. I don't want someone that writes articles and tries to make money off of this shit in our space. We need to be pushing vultures like that out. I refuse to play this little game of, oh, she's stalking his family. Ugh. No, she found it on Facebook where it's readily accessible. I'm sure I could do it in less than 5 minutes. Oh, Emmy's Emmy's threatening. Shut the fuck up. Like, act in good faith, right? You know I'm not saying that. You know exactly what you would want to be done if it were you that were married to someone that was obsessing over someone online. If you had children with that person. Yeah, it's personal. It's because he made it personal. Do you see the shit he writes? He brings up the fact that she's a former sex worker at every turn. That is pointed violent language. Oh, he's just stating facts. How could it be violent? Shut the fuck up. You know why he's bringing it up. You know why he's bringing it up. To discredit her. To dehumanize her. It happened to me within 4 fucking tweets interacting with this audience. I'm not like gonna act like this ends any differently than how I've seen it end 1,000 times before. I'm not gonna play dumb so people aren't mean to me online. Like, no, you don't deserve to be in our gamer space. You don't deserve to be protected if this is what you're doing. Why? If this is how you react, you need to get a grip. Like, you need to be spending time with your loved ones and your family. Maybe with a doctor. And I know, like, the mental health weaponization thing, like, no, really, truly, it's crazy to try to dedicate your life to ending a Kotaku. Maybe he didn't start the petition, but he's promoting it endlessly. And he did, right? Like, it's really frustrating. Yeah, when GTA 6, like Nick said, was going to be delayed, people lost their shit, even though it was the company saying, look, we don't want to participate in crunch, or we're trying not to, you know? That was a good faith effort on their part, and gamers could not take it. They are babies, by and large. How's the sound? I think I flipped my microphone around or slapped something. Promoting it is arguably... I 100% agree. Not telling these people 100%, like, to shut the fuck up, 100% agree. The silence is 100% endorsement. The promoting of any campaign, whether he started it or not, is an 100% endorsement. He knows what he's doing. If anything, it's almost more... It's crazy. The betterment of video game journalism. Unhinged, guys. Really sick stuff.
Kotaku has gone way too far for way too long, and I have created a change.org petition
Wait, you can speed
to
video.
have Kotaku shut down. And yes, I understand the ramifications for saying things like that, and how I'm always for free speech, and people should be allowed to have platforms for it. And yeah, I get it. Kotaku should have their platform for their free speech as well, assuming they're honest and forthcoming with their journalistic integrity and telling people exactly what's happening with the full story of what they write. But that's not what's been transpiring, and if anything, it's only gotten worse over the years. I used to think when they got a writer, like, we'll say...
If he uses another clip of Carolyn, I'll fucking lose it. I'll go to war for her. I will... Sorry. Ah! What is roboting? Does that mean, like, clipping? Yeah, my guy, I'm really turned out of shape about this fucker.
Luke Plunkett comes in and writes horrifically bad articles and doesn't really cover the topic properly. They won't last, they have a shelf life, and they'll be gone. Kotaku's Luke Plunkett has doubled down and now wants Japanese people to die because Nintendo decided to blacklist Kotaku. That's not an exaggeration. And sure enough, he left. And Nintendo decided to blacklist Kotaku. That's not an exaggeration. And sure enough, Plunkett has doubled down and now wants Japanese people to die because Nintendo decided to blacklist Kotaku. That's not an exaggeration. And sure enough, he left. And what do? They replace him with other journalists that start doing the same stuff. Now we have Alyssa Mercante, a former sex worker,
How did we know he was going to say that? How did we know he was going to lead with that, folks? Who called it? Who called that one? Why put emphasis on the word sex? Well, you always want what you don't have, am I right? Ah! That was a good one. That's so good. Okay. No, but for fucking real. Thank you. I'm trying to, just keep it rational, because I'm starting to just get into this phase where I'm a little hungry, and I wanted to start insulting him for being mean to these people I parasocially enjoy on Twitter and don't know personally. But the more I watch him, the more the transphobia, the sexism, the sex worker phobia, just like the all-around hidden agendas that he thinks he's being so slick with. What I hate more than anything is that I have to give a fuck about him. Like, what I hate more than anything is having to sit here and say this isn't okay. That this person shouldn't be allowed to relentlessly churn out tweets and content like this. This is getting crazy, that people are just allowed to stir up their audiences to go interact with these public figures, and because they're public figures, anything goes, you know? That because they're public figures, anything short of a death threat isn't a threat. Even though you'll get hundreds, and I'm speaking from experience, you'll get hundreds of not quite threats that make you feel unsafe because that shit compounds in your head. That's not a victimless crime to share your opinion when your opinion is that basically someone else shouldn't exist. And nobody's going to say that out loud, so they couch it in other language. Like, that's why we're fucking here today. He lost his mind about the DMing his wife thing because it finally gave him something legitimate to, like, glob onto. I say legitimate, to be, like, glob onto. You cannot compare what these people, what these writers, what Alyssa individually has been going through to your wife getting a DM about your bullying and weirdo behavior online. We cannot allow ourselves to be duped by this both sides-ism that I'm sure some people are going to want to play into when they realize how crazy this is. No. There is no rationale for justifying the behavior towards the Kotaku stuff. There's nothing. Just leave them alone if you don't like the website. Why don't you just prove that you can be chill for a bit? Why don't you just prove that regardless of how you feel about the journalism, which it's not really about that, is it? Because facts aren't super this guy's strong suit, but I digress, as usual. See, I lost it. I always think I'm so smart. But, I mean, you get it, though. Like, why don't you just prove that you can do anything else off the back of this woman? If she's not your muse, if she's not your obsession, let her go. Why can't you just not talk about it for a week? And that's really what this comes down to, right? Like, Vera, Grum / Kern, SmashJT, that gaming / the drinking critic, whatever its fucking name is. Their money is on rage baiting. Their money depends on her. Fortunately for them, she's been out of a job. Because if she ever decides to leave the scene, if any of the Kotaku writers do, what are you fuckers gonna talk about? You had one decent video on Sony parroting the same ideas everyone else is, and guess what? The majority of gamers are watching reasonable people like Skillup. I wish more people would talk about what's happening to the game journalists. I think larger YouTubers should be more aggressive in stamping this out in the community, because I do think there's a decent amount of overlap. And I'm not trying to call out Skillup. I know I said that, but he's just like the first one that came to mind. Don't like fucking at him or whatever. But not even his hat is unique. Right? Not even his hate. Oh, he said hat. I'm like, yeah. Wait, hat? But seriously. Yes, it's a lack of creativity, too. These people don't know how to come up with an original thought that isn't rooted in antagonism, which, if we're being honest, rage is the laziest emotion to tap into when making content. These people are lazy thinkers. They are lazy creators, and they don't deserve the benefit of your doubt.
She writes, she has an agenda in mind, and she aims to hit that instead of giving the full truth of the story.
God, I have asthma, but if I could just have a cigarette to fucking smoke that irony right now, ooh. Oh, thank you, Nick. Yeah, I try to keep it focused on that. I keep wanting to, like, invest in more production, and you're right, it is simple and very, very janky. I keep wanting to invest in more stuff, but I just want to make sure, like, I'm really liking what I'm doing before I get into more debt. Thank you. I had so many more points I wanted to touch on, but really now I'm just very sad. I honestly want to spend time celebrating the people that they're denigrating, but I'm so exhausted by my rage, which maybe is half of their point, that... Oh no, we have to talk about Paul and his tweet. I feel so bad for Paul. Everyone... I keep bumping the mic around. I promise it'll stop. Weed S'more. Ooh, Weed S'more. Yeah. Oh my god, I would love Weed S'more. Oh, that sounds so good. Chocolate. So this is a tweet by Grums involving his grummy little self in this situation that did not involve him, to my knowledge, to anybody else's fucking knowledge. But here we are. Any opportunity, right, to talk about your fucking obsessions over at Kotaku. Who knows what else Grums could be talking about? If he's not antagonizing someone online or trying to, like, flex his non-existent foresight, his non-existent knowledge, trying to pretend that he predicted everything that's happening in the industry, he's piggybacking off of SmashJT's content about Alyssa, which honestly is even lazier than SmashJT himself. I don't think Grums has a YouTube channel, which is great, because I can't take another moment of listening to these no-talent hacks getting their jollies and rocks off and getting their fucking nuts tingly by hating on these writers. Like, I really can't sit through a video with a human person in it. Okay, now you're getting me hungry, Nick. Stop. Okay, we have to wrap this up here soon. I didn't get anything I wanted to do done. Okay, this is off topic. Have you guys noticed I got fatter? And I mean that in a good way. I've been trying to gain weight. Is that weird to say? I just feel like I've been noticing it in my face lately, and I want to know if other people do. I don't really have that many in real life people I can ask about. I don't have coworkers. Yeah? I think it just sits better on my face a little bit with more weight. And I'm also in the gym, so I'm trying to, like, recomp. You know, I'm not trying to, like, just gain for an inflation thing. That sounds bad. Gaining weight is good. Anyway, okay, wait, what are we talking about? We're talking about Grums and his grummy ass. Oh my god, you guys. So, in this screenshot, in this screenshot, Grums is talking about these screenshots. And these screenshots, this is Alyssa, once again, talking about, I found your wife's Facebook, which it's really not that hard to do, and asked what she thinks about the husband of her children harassing women online and laughing when they share that someone they're supporting has been threatening to kill them for weeks. Someone made a game about literally murdering her. And that's someone that he's chummy with. On top of everything else that they've been doing for months. If you don't know what they've been doing for months, please just go to her profile and scroll through any of the replies. You can go back months, it doesn't matter. They're all going to be vile. Like, and I really mean that. I have full confidence you could do that. This is absolutely the play, someone responds. We should be doing this with all weird creeps. I agree. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up. Everyone and they're fucking losing it over this. Like, he actually was threatening to string people up in a violent rage. Like, can we just be honest? Like, are you guys, am I stupid? Am I really off base in thinking if you read that any other way than track down the weird creeps, significant others and mothers, and string the weird creeps up metaphorically. Am I crazy for thinking that that's where your mind immediately goes? Like, yeah, this is a weird punctuation thing. It's very common on the internet. I've heard people say string them up about cancellations all the time. Like, string them on the line. Am I fucking crazy to think that that's not threatening? Because people are really adamant that this is, like, where the line was. He even apologized. He was like, yeah, it's poorly worded. Is it? I don't think so. I know exactly what he means. Oh, shit. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I'm not in a bikini, guys, on Twitter. Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't think... I honestly, I think you're kind of reading this in a bad faith way. If you are looking for something, you could find it. But no, I see this around the internet all the time. People in the replies were like, no, this is a threat. This is clearly a threat. No, if I was still working there, I'd ban him for a couple days. Really? Oh, well, I don't know. I disagree with that. I think string them up is obviously, like, in the context of this tweet of outing them. Right. Well, I mean, I imagine that's also in the before times, before everything, like when people had standards for what could have been posted on Twitter, or at least they were eroding. I don't perceive that as a threat. Oh, thank you, John. Thanks. And I don't mean to suggest you're in bad faith, Nick. I do think that it's a dramatization. Especially after he clarified it. Especially when you, like, reading this in isolation is one thing, but you are seeing, like, I mean, not you, but, like, they're seeing what he is talking about when he says string them up. Right. No, I mean, I get that now when you say it, like, but for the purposes of discourse, I think it's a bad faith interpretation. And I think, like, it's really obvious, especially because he immediately clarified. And it's like, oh, well, threats immediately have to be taken seriously. It's like, well, what about all the threats against Alyssa? What about him chummying up with someone that literally made a game fantasizing about her death or something? Like, what was that? Did I not see that? Was that a figment of my imagination? A fiction I made up? But unfortunately for everyone, and especially for Paul, and especially for Alyssa, though, this is the tweet, Paul's tweet, that really sets people off. That really has people gleefully, ready to string. Ready to string Alyssa up. I didn't even mean to do that, but it's true. It's true. This is the shit that they have to deal with every day. There's a whole cottage industry of making fake news fucking articles out of opinion pieces that could have been an email. You know? This is crazy. why is it so crazy to say just don't read it? If you don't like Kotaku, why can't you just not read it? Can someone answer? Can anyone answer why you can't just not read it? Am I... Like, has someone answered that? Yeah, I mean, I don't care about Kotaku that much. I'll be honest. I like their contributors. I follow them on Twitter, and that's why I even know about half this shit. And when they deal with it, as it should be, and I'm not complaining about this, we have to deal with it as their followers and their fans. And I think as gamers, we should be supporting them vocally, and I'm trying to. But I'm a big, dumb, angry idiot, and I don't know how to do it without getting upset and defensive. Because I'm tired of having this conversation that's really just like that ends up just being a one-sided defense of my right to exist. Because eventually these people click on my profile and then they'll see that I'm a sex worker, and even, you know, regardless of me being a sex worker, the fact that I'm a woman, clearly, you know, there's nothing that can ever be done or rationalized with these people when this shit comes up. That's why I think we do have to start being militant about, like, pushing them out of our spaces. And that's a threat for anyone out there that is watching. There's nobody fucking watching me, but I'm just saying, like, people like this need to not be welcome. That's not a threat against your physical wellness. It's a threat against you being able to spew hate peacefully. Because you've been spewing hate peacefully and profitably for too long. For too long we've let people do this to us. That we've let them into our friends and family and told ourselves, oh, that's fucking annoying, but that's fucking gamers. Like, how many more, like, Gamergate 1, 2, 3s do we have to have before we're like, these people aren't gamers. They're fucking babies. They're perpetual victims to a website they don't have to read. You choose to be a victim to a website nobody makes you read. You choose to be victimized by someone that goes out of their way to disengage from you and block you. You are being victimized by your own behavior and blaming it on a woman. That is obsessive weirdo shit. You are reposting transphobic memes. You are bringing up that she's a sex worker at every turn. You are being so weird about everything. We can see it. Your wife should know, because your children are a factor in her mind, right? Wouldn't you want to know if your wife was making content about a man obsessively? As obsessively as this person has? Wouldn't you want to know if your partner for life was acting like a creep? This idea that you wouldn't is bullshit. This idea that privately DMing someone when it's public information that this person is your partner, that compromises her security, that's bullshit. You're lying. You're lying so you can be a victim, so you can attack her more. You're just fucking lying to yourself and to me, and I'm not going to play dumb and accept it. No, you're not a victim. You're not unsafe. You've never been unsafe. You have been the antagonistic force in this. You have contributed to violent rhetoric. You have contributed to rhetoric that can turn violent. You have contributed to annoying the piss out of me and everyone else that is too embarrassed now to associate themselves with the video gaming community. Oh, well, you're an embarrassment, blah, 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 bikini babe, you're a sex worker, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Former sex worker, current sex worker. Hi, I'll outplay you in any video game. I will outtalk you in any fucking argument. You are if you have to identify with these fuckers, if that's what you need to get your dopamine rush, you are lesser and you deserve better. You deserve better. Get up. Vera chick on fucking Twitter, I know she's smarter than that. Get the fuck up off the floor. I'm not gonna play dumb for you, sis. I'm not gonna play dumb for you, sir. I didn't mean sis. I meant sir. That's weird. Thank you. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just, like, raving now. Right. She's a former sex... It's not even like it's relevant now. You're just obsessed with it. Tell me, hey, JT, you're so happily married, so upset about her DMing your wife. Why are you so worried about her being a former sex worker? And I know it's low-hanging fruit to be like, oh, so obsessed because he wants to fuck me, but it's like, really? Because the only other thing that I can think of that this obsession is rooted in is something non-sexual, which is way creepier. Way creepier, because you don't have anything substantive to say about her coverage. I've yet to see anywhere where you write your little articles where you break down her reporting and actually back up what you say in your little videos about the mispractice of journalism, about the miscarriage of journalism. I have so many ways to say that now in my head. They're all taking up space. But the point is, yeah, I'm not... You can see me, like, wind down from that. Oh, see, now the vein in my head is popping. I don't think people on Twitch can see it popping that much, but you're missing out. I will never, ever blindly accept anyone trying to tell me a woman's reaction to something is disproportionate without knowing what he did first, right? And you should too, because power hierarchies are that way. Like, they necessitate that kind of lens. It's just the truth. You have to ask. That's not victim blaming. This is, why is he coming after her so relentlessly? And it's not a secret. It's right there in plain sight. I think people like this don't belong on YouTube. They might belong on Twitter. But the amount of content he's put out thus far, and likely will continue to put out, constitute harassment when in context of his behavior on his other platforms. I do think that taking a really firm stance against the amount of content you are able to make about a particular person is something we should be moving towards. We shouldn't be justifying even benign obsessions, even like fan pages where they're just like relentless. Like, I think things like that can get slippery real quick. I don't think you should be allowed to, and I mean this, really do, militantly, I do. I don't think you should be allowed to post about someone so often within such a short amount of time. I think if he thinks Kotaku should be taken down for reckless journalism malpractice, whatever, this goes so far beyond it. By his own standards, he is way outlived his right to exist on YouTube. Oh, that's a threat. Shut the fuck up, you little babies. That is not a threat, and y'all know that. But I will continue to use strong language. I am never threatening someone's physical health or their mental wellness. But I will never ever be talked down to in the form of hyperbole or lies by someone who's obviously a fucking transphobe, who's a sexist, who's a sex worker phobe, who doesn't argue in good faith, who doesn't have any creative value, who truly contributes nothing but hatred to the internet. Even his video game-centric content is, yeah, maybe Sony did it, they were acting idiotly. Talk about idiots. But, like, yeah, so many other accounts that are so much less vitriolic do that content way better. Me. But literally anyone that isn't part of this community will cover it with more nuance and grace, surely. And I know that. I just know that. Because you can see how this guy writes and operates and the logic he works under. No, even his own audience knows that this content is useless. His own audience doesn't give a fuck when he talks about something else. Stop writing about Kotaku for like a week. Let's see what you think good gaming journalism is. Sex worker. I think it does have shorthand, probably. Hi, Truck Daddy. I'm so sorry I'm not in a bikini. People on Twitch are going to be like, Truck Daddy. I forgot to change the title before I went live. I actually have to get going. I meant to do game news too, but... What was the last game he actually covered? Oh, I'm a former game tester for Sony. A former game master for the EverQuest series. And a recruiter. I've worked directly. My experience in the game industry is only heightened by my passion for video games in general. I would love to know how they feel about his current content. But I wouldn't do that. And I'm sure they honestly don't give a fuck about him. They wouldn't even know who he is if you wrote to those companies and were like, do you know what he's doing? Yeah, really hard-hitting stuff. Like, it's hard to find free pinups of Lara Croft. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, such a victim, and I can't even get over it. Yeah, I'm a video game tester. No, I'm sure you actually were. What is a game master for video games? Like, I know GM... You know, some of this is game news. Yeah, you know. It's getting decent views. I can admit when I was wrong. I think it's insane that he posted this 19 hours ago and it's like one of his biggest videos. But, yeah, just thinly veiled right-wing crap. Wow. Just, you know, if you have a problem with the organization, why can't you just keep it to the organization? I know individuals may, but it seems like Kotaku isn't really the problem. In fact, it's almost like a place that they go for their sacrificial lambs. Like, they really need Kotaku, as we covered already, to make content, because what is this channel without rage? Like, if you remove, see? This is like her wedding photo? Are you... I just want to scream. I do have to go. I feel like I didn't cover everything I need covering. I meant to cover. I do feel really bad for Paul. I think he says he misspoke. I understood him right away. I think everyone is lying. I am always going to be 100% rage, ranting, raving mad at people that post shit like this and don't think we know exactly what they're doing. I'm not going to play dumb and act like I don't know what this image is supposed to be. This is vile. This has nothing to do with his family's safety. If he was so scared, why would he post this? If he was so about integrity and professionalism, why would he repost this? Like, what is this doing for his argument that he was put in an unsafe situation? What is this doing for his argument that he's not harassing this woman? Her entire staff. whose face is that? This is supposed to be Alyssa Mercante, which if you've seen any of the thumbnails, she's obviously, like, gorgeous. They're trying to... This is, like, a man's face that they put on to something that is supposed to be Alyssa Mercante. And we know he's a transphobe because the next, like, meme or so, like, the next tweet after that is, like, a transphobic meme. He would say, that's not transphobic. If you think that's transphobic, you're really the transphobe. No, he's a transphobe, and this is a transphobic tweet. And we know what he meant to do. However, her tits look great in this, even vectorized. It's not Alyssa, but, you know, I think the glasses do a lot of good work. That's like if I drew you as Steve Buscemi. That is so funny. I agree. Okay, I do have to go. Thank you so much. Thank you, especially to Nick, all the contributors.